Hey guys, it's Branson Van Landingham here, and in this short video, I just want to take a couple minutes and break down why you should listen to me. I help established online high ticket business owners close more deals by leveraging the tips, the tricks, the strategies, and the pieces that together form our entire conversational closing framework that we talk about here on the YouTube channel and in the work that we do with our clients. And this is one of the areas that I see a lot of people out there not doing a good job in explaining to their audience why they should listen to them. Because let's face it, there's a ton of people out there telling you things, telling you what you need to do, what you need to buy, what you need to say, and all the gurus and the trainings and the clips and reels and all these things that you see and you're constantly bombarded with on your feed. And if you're a business owner or you're a salesperson kind of looking for resources to get better, then you get even more of these things. And it can be tough to kind of figure out what maybe just sounds good and maybe actually what works. And of course, I would encourage you to implement the things that you hear if it sounds good and kind of checks the initial boxes with you. But ultimately, I just want to take a couple minutes and explain when I break things down and I share things, why I know that to be true, why you should listen to me, and why you can feel good about being able to take these things and actually put them into practice, right? And I think a lot of the times people in this space that work with clients or that give out content, they don't tell you these things because maybe they're not as experienced as they would like you to believe. Maybe they're not quite certain it'll actually work or whatever the case may be. And I think that's especially true for kind of the coaching consulting space, if you will. And so when we look at the aspects of what's behind the advice I give and what's behind the process, the conversational closing framework that I developed, where that comes from is from my experience in the game. I'm a multi-million-dollar sales producer. I've been in sales my entire life, from going door to door as a 10-year-old mowing lawns all the way now in my experience over the last several years in the high-ticket online space. And when I give advice, when I give you pieces of content describing our conversational closing framework or tips or tricks or strategies, it comes from the results I get in the game. Again, it's not book theory. It's not what I think just sounds good or sounds knowledgeable. It's the things that I've actually implemented with success. And not only have I done that for myself, I've helped other people do that. And I've seen other people do that with success. So I know that it works. So that's the first reason why you should listen to me. The second reason is the aspects and the genesis of our conversational closing framework. If we dive into that further, where that comes from is from years of development that I've spent talking to prospects and clients of myself and of my clients literally all over the world. I've worked with people and had conversations with people in 6 out of the 7 continents. I'm missing Antarctica. So if I can check that box, I'll be 7 for 7, and I can say I've done business on every continent on the face of the earth. So hopefully between now and when I hang it up, which let's be honest, it'll probably be noon the day of my funeral, but between now and when that time comes, I hope I can say I've done business there. But I've done business all over the world. And when it comes to selling and when it comes to prospects, I've sat in front of, either in person, on the phone, or via Zoom, I've sat in front of every prospect that you can imagine, from location, from age, young to old, old to young, middle age, from language, from race, people that speak English as their first language, people that it's not their first language, maybe even their second language. I've talked to people individually. I've talked to people as a group, people that are business partners, people that are married, romantic partners, consumer, type focused selling, business to business type selling. I've really done it all and seen it all. I feel like I'm Farmers Insurance, where they run that ad that says we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. And I believe above all else, that's why you should listen to me. Results and experience. And the genesis of what I'm saying here comes from the commonalities that I've shared in all those conversations. See, one of my natural gifts, I fully believe, is having genuine connection-filled conversations, right? And having conviction in what I'm selling. And when we merge all those things, the big C's as I call them, when we can conversationally merge conviction and connection, it puts us in the best position to close, right? And I believe while that might not be everyone's natural gift, I believe everybody has different aspects that they can merge with a proven process to kind of fill in what I call the gaps and lacks in their process to form a very well-oiled machine like our conversational closing framework to leverage this type of selling. Because when we have those big C's, and we have a belief in what we're selling, and we know our product better than anyone else, as a business owner should, and as a closer should. A closer should know what it is they're selling, second only to the business owner, right? And when we have those things in place and we're genuinely trying to help people, we have conviction in being able to help people. We know without a doubt if they take action or if they work with us that they can solve their problem with your service, with your product to get to their desired outcome. When all those things are true, it doesn't matter who we're connecting with, where, when, all those aspects and details fall second to our process, right? Because here's what I can tell you, and here's one of the limiting beliefs that I hear a lot from the many conversations I have with people all over the world, is that a lot of the times people tend to think that everything's so different. Hey, these people are different. This location's different. This offer's different. This will work here, but it won't work there. And what I can tell you is our conversational closing framework, I have the exact same conversations with people, whether they're super close to me, if they were here in Arkansas where I'm at, the United States, or if they're across the world. It doesn't matter. I have an exact same process with all those people. And the only thing that's swapped out is whatever the offer is. Because if I'm selling for myself, or I'm helping a client sell, that's the only aspect that we can swap out. But that process doesn't change, because here's the reality is your different aspects of the places or the product that might be different. Sure. But you're all connecting with people, right? We're all selling to decision makers that are people. If you're selling business to consumer, you're dealing with probably an individual or a partnership couple, whatever the case may be, an individual consumer, or individuals make up businesses. So if you're selling B2B, but at the end of the day, we're all talking to people. And while places can be different and products and all those things can change, people are not all that different, especially when it comes to how we sell them, right? You're connecting with a prospect, that's a person, and they're interested or have some level of interest in whatever it is that you're trying to sell to help them solve their problem and get to a desired outcome. And again, talking to all these different people that maybe are experiencing a problem, personally or professionally, again, whatever your offer is, maybe they're experiencing a problem for the very first time. Maybe it's a problem that's plagued them for years. Maybe there are different experience levels within that. They have different familiarity with technology, or you're the powering of your service or whatever runs that. It doesn't matter. There's someone as a person that's in a specific area and they're trying to get to a better area. And depending on your inbound, outbound process to connect with prospects, you're in front of them and they're in front of you. And if you can demonstrate and convey through a very specific process and transfer that belief to them that whatever it is that you have can take them from where they're at to where they want to go, that process is the same regardless of who you're talking to, regardless of where they're at. You can sell anyone, anything at any time, right? It doesn't have to be this big, overcomplicated process that we make it. And so our conversational closing framework and the pieces and the aspects of it that I work with my clients on, that we talk about in our content on our YouTube and our social media, comes from being in the game and having these conversations all day, every day. The process, the pieces, the aspects were developed from live repetitions, from thousands upon thousands of connections, of consultations with prospects all over the world in a variety of industries and offers. You can swap all the details and demographics out, but the process remains, and the prospect and the person that you're talking to is the same. And how you can help them is the same. How you can sell them is the same. So I would encourage you in that area to not get too bogged down in overcomplicating things and thinking all these things are different. If we talk to somebody that maybe isn't quite like our ideal client, or other people that we've helped, or they're in other locations, not to get down to a limiting belief that what it is going to be so much different for that person. Right. And I would give that same advice to a prospect, right? Because a lot of the times people think, oh, well, maybe an American product won't work where I'm at because I'm not in America, or vice versa. And I can tell you, if it's leveraged the right way and you're people talking to people, it's largely going to be the same. Maybe it varies a little bit, but largely that process isn't going to change drastically because people and their behavior, and especially their behavior online, is not all that different. And their problem solving behavior is not all that different. It's as simple as it gets. Someone's at a current position, they want to get to a better position, and they'll leverage whatever they have or can get to accomplish that. So if you're listening to this and you're a business owner or you're a salesperson, a closer, and you know you have gaps and lacks in your sales process, or you know you don't have a sales process and you need to implement an established framework like our conversational closing framework to be able to sell and sell very effectively, grab the link in the description below. And I'd love to spend time connecting with you, learning more about you, what skills and gifts you have, where your strengths and weaknesses are, you feel, your existing process, your offer, your industry, your audience, location, all those things. We'd love to learn more about you and your business and talk about how we can leverage our conversational closing framework to put you in the best position possible to close at least at a minimum, at the absolute minimum, 1 out of 3 people that you connect with, and work to implement that, refine it, and get that number up much, much higher than 1 out of 3. But at a minimum, if we're connecting with the right kinds of people and leveraging the right kind of sales framework, like our conversational closing framework, doesn't matter where someone's at, doesn't matter what their experience or level or familiarity or whatever the case may be, you're in a position to close at least 1 out of 3 people that you talk to. So grab the link in the description below, and I look forward to connecting further to discuss that with you. I appreciate you taking the time and listening to Why You Should Listen to Me.